So I'm in South Africa right now and driving on a beautiful road from Cape Town to the Cape of Good Hope, which is where the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean meet, with the new Audi Q8. Now we are out here to find out, just like the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean meet, do the expectations of the potential consumer for the Q8 and the updated Q8's feature, do they meet as well? So we are driving this car on this beautiful stretch of road, and over the next few minutes, I'll tell you what all the new Q8 has to offer. So join in for the fun as we go around on one of the most beautiful roads in the world with a very good looking and a handsome SUV. The new Audi Q8 then, despite not being a generation change model and just being an updated one, still offers a great deal of enhancement and better driving and in-cabin experience for the users. So yes, it has grown to be better in almost every department. And as to when is the Q8 going to come to India? Well, like I said earlier, not anytime soon, but around the second half of the next calendar year. Well, that's when you can expect the Q8 to come into the Indian market. And when it comes, especially with this color and the new updated features and this very good looking lighting on the car, I think the Q8 is definitely going to make a big impression when it comes to luxury sports activity vehicles in the market. Now, as far as the Audi Q8 cabin goes, well, there is not much of a change. Yes, the inlays inside have been changed, so you do get a slightly more premium feel. And well, it's nothing bad inside the cabin. It's a great cabin. It was a great cabin to start with, and the Q8 continues to be a cabin which looks modern, dynamic, and is comfortable at the same time. If you consider the seats, the space, the kind of headroom you get, the kind of cushioning you get on the seats, it is a great cabin to be in. And of course, in terms of features too, it is loaded to the gills. Alright, so now that we've told you about the changes in the exterior and the interior, let us now talk about the driving aspect. And well, not much has changed in the hardware, so it doesn't drive completely differently. The hardware, even the calibration for the software, remains pretty much the same, but that's not particularly a bad thing because, well, the Q8 has always been a great vehicle to drive, and it has a powerful petrol motor here. Well, the one that we are driving, it has a petrol motor. It globally also comes with a diesel option, but in India you're not going to get that. And well, of course, there's also the more powerful and the more interesting SQ8. But let's focus on the Q8 here. Now, this one comes with a V6 turbocharged petrol motor, and it belts out about 340 PS and a very impressive 500 Newton meters of torque. And well, on the real road, the effect of that is profound because it accelerates from the standstill in a very impressive manner, even when you're driving it in traffic, and especially when you're driving it in winding roads, through winding roads like we are right now on the way to the Cape of Good Hope. Well, this is where the powertrain of the Q8 really shines. It just shows the elasticity and the bandwidth that it can go up and down, the versatility in its nature that really impresses. And then there is the dynamic part. It gets air suspension, which works really well. It also gets all-wheel steering, and that really changes the game because that means when you've got, although a minor angular change with the rear wheel axle, you get a big impact in terms of handling, and you will be able to judge that when you're going around corners really hard, well, that is where this makes a difference. And the grip, of course, is very good. You've got the famed Audi Quattro, and of course the tires do a good job. Yes, 22 inches, they look the part, no doubt. And of course those blacked out wheels really look the part, but it does give you a bit of a stiff ride. But then again, I think that's not much of a complaint, because if something looks that good, I think it's a good compromise to make. And you can always switch between modes, put it into comfort, and that'll soften up things for you, make it even more pliant in terms of ride quality. But coming back to the dynamic part, again, the Q8 doesn't mind going around corners at a fair velocity. Not a problem at all. You can chuck it into corners with a lot of confidence and it just turns where you want it to. So that's the beauty about the grip that it has, the mechanical grip, the chassis, the way the tires again hang on to the surface. This all makes the Q8 a fun vehicle to drive despite being an SUV, and that's what really makes it shine on these kind of roads. Talking about the transmission, well, it's got an 8-speed Tiptronic transmission, and the transmission has been calibrated in sort of a midway point, so it's not towards comfort entirely, which means it's not a slow transmission. Again, it's not an all-out sporty transmission as well. So what you get is a transmission that is very balanced, and you can row through the gears at a fairly good pace. If you're driving it in automatic mode, well, it does the job very well. I don't see any reason why you should have the need to intervene. But yes, when you're going around very good, nice winding roads and you want to have some fun, well, in that case, you can definitely take control using the paddle shifters, or you can also take control using the gear shift selector, and the gearbox works even better. So yes, at the end of the day, not much has changed. Like I said, the hardware, software, it remains pretty much the same, but that again isn't a bad thing. The Q8 continues to be a good vehicle to drive, an impressive SUV which has got good dynamics. The powertrain again has a lot of punch to it. It works well, it's refined, it's versatile, and as a result of all of these things coming together, what you get is an SUV that is fun to drive, it's comfortable to drive, and is versatile. So you could be driving it, you could be driven in it, and you could have a lot of people sitting in it, but still, despite the changing conditions, it will keep the occupants happy through most of it.